Right now on Up with KREM, Washington's new e-bike law is now in effect. Ahead, we're breaking down what this means.
And I'm tracking sunshine and 70s returning to the inland Northwest. The warm-up that's on the way ahead.
The World Cup starts today. We take you inside Team Egypt's practice at Gonzaga. Breaking news right off the top here at 5 o'clock. We are learning about a fire in Spokane Valley. This is what we could see from our traffic cameras at I-90 and Sullivan just about an hour ago at 4 a.m. We have learned the fire is now out. This is what it looked like when our crews arrived just moments ago. We learned the fire started in a carport next to a garage, which was not connected to the house. No one was hurt in the fire. Also, an eyewitness and neighbor tells us they heard something like what sounded like a bomb to them go off earlier this morning. As we learn more information, we will be sure to update you here on Up with KREM. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I'm Tim Pham.
And I'm Nicole Legou. We want to get started this morning with Jenny Power in the Weather Center. Jenny, we finally get a stretch of weather that feels like summer. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too, Tim and Nicole, especially because it's going to really start to feel like June here in the inland Northwest. And especially as we take this live look over Riverfront Park, downtown Spokane. The sun is shining. We're off to a nice start to the day today. Right now, temperature-wise, we're at 44 degrees in the Spokane area. Winds are lighter out of the southeast here at 10 miles per hour sustained. As we take a look across the region at some of our start time temperatures, we're at 46 degrees in Moses Lake, 49 for Wenatchee, low 50s in Coeur d'Alene with mid 40s out towards Sandpoint. Now, as we take a look at our current satellite and radar, it is calm and clear here. So we are going to hang on to widespread sunshine today as we are in for an extended stretch here of some drier weather conditions. Winds right now light across the board, so much calmer than what we saw yesterday. If you do have any outdoor plans, this is a look at your planner moving into this afternoon. We hang on to those widespread sunny conditions here through this afternoon. We're clear overnight tonight, and temperatures are going to return into the 70s for much of the region. The warm up into this upcoming weekend, though, that's coming up in just a few minutes. Now let's get you out the door with what we're seeing on your traffic impact this morning. So don't forget the sunglasses as the sun is shining, but this is a live look for you at I-90 and White, where things are moving smoothly. Very low traffic volumes through this stretch of the morning commute. Another live look for you at I-90 and Argonne, where we are seeing some very similar traffic conditions at this hour. No major collisions to report to you. Of course, just watch for any workers out there on the roads as we are preparing to see some construction. But for now, we are in the green. We do have a little bit of yellow out toward areas like Airway Heights, but we'll take a look at that here again in just a few minutes.
Well, the man accused of shooting and killing his wife on Sunday will be back in court today for his arraignment. 42-year-old Josiah Ballinger faces second-degree murder charges. Now, there were two kids in the house when the shooting happened. A 9-year-old said he saw Ballinger shoot his mom, and then his 14-year-old brother called the police. A judge sent Ballinger's bond at $1 million and said he cannot have contact with those children. Washington's new e-bike law starts today. It's going to set requirements for what qualifies as an e-bike to help separate e-bikes from motorcycles.
And under this law, an e-bike must be equipped with fully operative pedals and must have a power output of no more than 750 watts. The law sets 3 classes of e-bikes. Class 1 provides motor assistance only when the rider stops pedaling and tops out at 20 miles per hour. Class 2 is similar, but says the motor alone cannot work past 20 miles per hour. Meanwhile, Class 3 e-bikes provides motor assistance when the rider is pedaling, operates at speeds of up to 28 miles per hour, and must have a speedometer. So keep in mind here, when riding an e-bike in a city park, you have to follow different rules and stick to specific speed limits.
Conversations I've had with parents have really been around, these aren't toys, these are transportation devices.
Anything that's a motor vehicle, I would say ORV parks are great. Go out there, explore those big vast lands where you can really open up your bike and have a fun time.
Keep in mind, electric motorcycles used on public roads may require a valid driver's license, registration, insurance, and a helmet, as well as compliance with traffic laws. Under this law, parents may be held responsible if they knowingly allow an unlicensed minor to operate a motor vehicle.
This morning at 8, Governor Brad Little is meeting First Lady Melania Trump in Washington, D.C. They're launching a new initiative that supports foster youth. So this program is called Fostering the Future Accounts, which would give children in foster care access to a dedicated savings and investment account to help them build financial independence. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and other governors will also be at the event today.
5:05 this morning, a Spokane woman is in jail facing charges of vehicular homicide after running over and killing a dog walker early yesterday morning. Court records show Kaylee Peters was driving east on West Price Avenue towards North Division Street. She hit Rochelle Davis, who was walking two dogs at the time. Court documents show Peters called 911 to report she hit a pedestrian and stayed on scene. She told investigators that she believed she hit an object like a tire. Peters is being held on a $150,000 bond. During her appearance, a commissioner noted she has 9 previous convictions and 10 failures to appear or comply. They also noted she has a previous charge for careless driving. New overnight, the U.S. is striking back on Iran again. The Trump administration calling the strike self-defense. The strike targeted Iranian surveillance communications and air defense systems. This comes just days after Iran shot down a U.S. Apache helicopter and following President Trump's warning yesterday that Tehran would pay a price for taking too long to negotiate a peace deal.
We're going to be attacking them and attacking them very hard. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers.
Iranian state TV claims its forces responded by targeting American military sites in nearby Gulf nations as Bahrain and Kuwait reported incoming missiles. Iran also declared the Strait of Hormuz closed, which the Pentagon denies.
We're coming up now on the 1-year mark of the Canfield Mountain ambush, where 2 firefighters were killed. To honor them, Kootenai County Fire and Rescue and the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department are doing a remembrance ceremony. It's going to be at the Avista Pavilion at McEwen Park in Coeur d'Alene on June 29th at 10 a.m. People from both fire departments and their families will be remembering John G. Morrison and Frank J. Harwood. The fire department say anybody from the community can be there.
And in your forecast today, we are seeing the return of widespread sunshine for the inland Northwest. We are seeing some cool temperatures to get things started, but by this afternoon, we are looking at daytime highs in the 70s. So definitely warmer than the last couple of days. 72 is the high for Spokane, 73 for Coeur d'Alene, and we are looking at some low 80s for the central part of the state across the Okanagan Valley, in Omak, Chelan, toward Wenatchee, and then south there into Richland and the Tri-Cities. Now, these temperatures that we're seeing today in Spokane bump us right back up to our average after we've seen, again, a couple of days of cooler than average temperatures. And moving into this upcoming weekend, we trend even warmer. As early next week, we are looking at upper 80s to low 90s.
If you've been looking for some garden inspiration, you can find it this weekend during the Spokane in Bloom Garden Tour.
So KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live there this morning to tell us all about it. Brandon, how's it going?
Good morning, Tim, Nicole. I mean, what better way to start your day than inside of a beautiful garden? I mean, it feels good out here. I've got good people with us. Carissa is the director of this Spokane in Bloom Garden Tour. So we want to say thank you just for joining us this morning. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. Yeah. Thanks for having me. We're in a beautiful garden this morning, so it couldn't be a better day.
I mean, what do we need to know about this tour?
Yeah, so the Spokane in Bloom Garden Tour is back this year. We have 6 beautiful gardens and 6 eager homeowners ready to share their expertise, just ready to welcome the community and to see all the beauty.
Well, and I think this is really cool because, you know, for someone like myself who I try to garden a little bit every now and then, you come out here, you see something like this. Shout out to Gabi. This is a beautiful garden, and I mean, you get the best inspiration possible.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's just amazing the beautiful gardens that we can grow here in our region in Spokane. Yeah. We've got beautiful vegetable gardens, amazing flower gardens, beachfront homes, a community garden. I mean, there's so much to see. Yeah. These gardeners really have shown their creativity in these 6 gardens, and we can't wait for the public to see.
So how can they come out and see?
Yeah, so the tour is this Sunday, June 14th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. All of our information is online at SpokaneandBloom.com. Okay. That's where you can buy tickets online, or you could buy your ticket in person at any of the 6 gardens.
All right, well, we appreciate that. We got more to talk about, so I want to say thank you again. I got to give a big shout out to Gabi Tilly right back here. You know, I can't get out of here, but how are you feeling, my friend?
I am feeling stressed.
Yeah.
You know, everything's got to be perfect, and it's not, but it will be.
Everything is perfect. I mean, look around. Look around. This is a beautiful garden. I appreciate both of you. We got more. I'm excited to be here this morning, so thank you both. And stay tuned. We'll be back next half hour with some more details, but Spokane in Bloom Garden Tour this weekend. We'll toss it back to you in the studio.
Thank you, guys. Still ahead, the World Cup starts today, so we'll let you know which teams are playing.
And after the break, we take you to the Egyptian national team's practice at Gonzaga.
Plus, construction in Concourse C at SeaTac is now done. Later in the show, we're taking a look at what this means if you're flying through there anytime soon. Hey, well, we've mentioned it a couple of times now, but the Egyptian national team has been practicing right here in Spokane.
KREM 2 Sports Director Andrew Quinn went to Gonzaga for yesterday's practice and shows us how Team Egypt is preparing for their first match.
It was certainly a special day here at Gonzaga for the Spokane soccer community, as about 500 fans packed Luger Field for the chance at an up-close and personal look at the Egyptian national soccer team just 5 days prior to their first match of the 2026 World Cup against Belgium. A majority of those fans who entered Luger Field were clad in Liverpool kits and scarves, all vying for an opportunity to watch the man they called the Egyptian King. He being the 4-time Premier League Golden Boot winner and former Liverpool superstar forward Mohamed Salah. The festivities got underway with some brief passing drills before an address from Gonzaga president Katia Passerini. At the end of her address, Dr. Passerini proclaimed the Egyptian national team a part of the Gonzaga family and said, "Once a Zag, forever a Zag," which elicited applause from Salah and his teammates. Goals were hard to come by in today's scrimmage portion of training, but the first goal came from 18-year-old Hamza Abdel Karim, who is the youngest player to ever play for Egypt at a World Cup. Salah came close to igniting the crowd with a goal, but instead rattled the crossbar and had to settle for a later assist to Omar Marmoush in the other goal of the scrimmage. Following practice, the team showed its appreciation to the fans who took time out of their days to come support the Pharaohs, and those fans were thrilled to experience a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Pretty amazing. I mean, you think about that, you think about the opportunity we had for the Sounders and the Seattle Reign here. Of course, we have our Velocity here too, but no, this is awesome, unbelievable to have Team Egypt here, and for Gonzaga to open their doors for this.
At the conclusion of practice, Salah was a hot commodity, and he spent about 15 to 20 minutes taking pictures and signing autographs for as many fans as he could before hopping on a bus and heading back to the Northern Quest Resort. Now, the Pharaohs did decline to speak with the media following today's practice, but we do hope to bring you some interviews with members of the team before they head over to Seattle for that 12 p.m. kickoff in Monday's first match against the Belgian Red Devils. For now, reporting outside Luger Field at Gonzaga, Andrew Quinn, KREM 2 Sports.
The World Cup officially starts today, so the first game of the tournament will be between Mexico and South Africa. That game starts at noon. Then tonight at 7 will be South Korea and Czechia. Both of those games are happening in Mexico City.
And coming up in your forecast, I'm tracking the widespread return of some sunshine and a warm-up into this upcoming weekend.
Still ahead, a proposal from the Spokane City Council could halt any data centers in the city. We will explain what the proposal means ahead.
So the 4th annual Boulevard race is now just 3 months away, and yesterday we got to see this year's race t-shirts. Here's a look in a video that you can find on our KREM 2 app.
The 2026 official Boulevard race.
Now it's time to get a look at the forecast on this Thursday, where we are going to see the widespread return of some sunshine and warm temperatures in the 70s. So as we take a look at what's happening weather-wise, this is thanks to some high pressure impacting the inland northwest. We're even going to be warming up here through this upcoming weekend, with temperatures reaching the mid to upper 70s and low 80s. And temperatures will even continue to climb into early next week as we're settling into an extended stretch of some warm and sunny conditions all the way through about next Thursday. Right now, this is a live look for you out toward North Idaho here through our Silverwood cameras, where you can see Silverwood there. But such a cool sunrise, as we are seeing some partly cloudy skies. Currently in Spokane, we're sitting at 44 degrees. So it is a cooler start to the day today, even though we are seeing more sunshine and the return of some 70s later on. Temperatures region-wide, we're at 50 degrees currently in Coeur d'Alene, 45 for Sandpoint, 48 for Omak. We are in the mid to upper 40s for Moses Lake and Wenatchee. And as we move forward here, current satellite and radar for you, calm and clear, indicating that yes, we are going to settle in and see this extended stretch of some dry weather conditions. We see that put into motion as we get through our future tracker. This is this evening, so if you do have any outdoor afternoon or evening plans, conditions will be dry. We're clear overnight tonight. Tomorrow, we do have the slight chance of some mountain showers in northeast Washington and North Idaho, but that's really the only activity that we see ahead of moving into this upcoming weekend, which will be mostly dry again for the region. So good conditions if you do have any outdoor plans. I know it's a big weekend for Spokane Pride in downtown Spokane. Lots of graduations happening. Flag Day coming up on Sunday. Temperatures this afternoon will be at 72 for Spokane, 73 for Coeur d'Alene, 72 up towards Sandpoint, Idaho, with the return of some low 80s out in central Washington for Chelan, Wenatchee, Moses Lake, and the Yakima Valley. These temperatures that we're seeing in Spokane are finally on par with our normal for this time of year. Overnight tonight, we do drop here into the upper 40s to low 50s. A couple of areas are dropping a little bit cooler. However, for example, St. Mary's into the upper 30s tonight, low 40s for Deer Park. Moving forward, here's a look at that weather pattern. We are, for the most part, going to be impacted by high pressure off the coast of California. That's why, as we move forward into this weekend, it's going to be great if maybe you want to get out to Lake Coeur d'Alene. Water temperatures are going to be in the mid 60s, so warmer compared to where we've previously been. And a look at the next 7 days here, we see that gradual warming trend even into early next week. Right now, out of the next 7 days, Tuesday is looking like our warmest day, but because of a dry cold front also moving through Tuesday and Wednesday, we are keeping an eye out for breezy winds that could potentially lead to critical fire weather conditions. A reminder for you that you can now stream our live local radar 24/7 for free on the KREM 2 app.
Next time you land at SeaTac Airport, expect some changes. One of the biggest expansion projects at the airport is now done.
So if you fly from Seattle to Seattle from Spokane, you'll probably see some of those changes. And this is all perfect timing since so many people are visiting for the World Cup. Brady Wakayama has a look.
The curtain is coming down here at SeaTac's brand new Sea Concourse expansion, 6 years in the making and built to serve travelers for decades. A major transformation at SeaTac is cleared for takeoff.
I keep saying it's the cherry on top. The whole intent was to make it feel like you were in the Northwest region and to feel at home.
One of the largest projects in SeaTac history, a $339 million price tag. The new Sea Concourse expansion adds more than 145,000 square feet and room to breathe in one of the nation's busiest airports. SeaTac ranks 11th in the country, but with limited space, it didn't build out, it built up.
We are one of the smallest footprint large hub airports, so we've got a really constrained footprint to work with, and yet we built this 4-story structure to allow for as many airport dining and retail options as possible.
Plans for this project date back to 2020, and for the last 2 years, travelers navigated construction walls and noise. Now that wait has blossomed into something new.
These big projects are famous for going over budget and beyond schedule, and our team here pulled it off just in time for World Cup.
Passengers will find Pacific Northwest art, a strong push for sustainability, and 16 new food spots and kiosks with local businesses front and center. Cal Fukuhara's family has been part of SeaTac for more than 2 decades. He's one of the 12 local businesses that will be serving travelers from around the world in this new space.
I'm just really grateful for this opportunity. like I said, I'm really happy to be able to support my family, support the economy around me, and just put my footprint on the airport.
An airport on the rise, built for what's ahead.
The best is yet to come the day you arrive.
So when will this space...
A wildfire season is here, so ahead we're looking at fire danger and the state's wildfire budget.
Not only are we worried about the infectious part of it, as well as how it affects the markets.
Head on up with KREM. Ranchers are concerned for their cattle because screwworm cases keep popping up. Now the state of Idaho is fighting back against the parasite.
Plus, the Maple Street Bridge is closing today, the best ways around, and how long it will be closed. That's coming up.
Plus, coming up next, why Washington voters could soon be blocked from receiving mail-in ballots. Good morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. It's Thursday.
Come
Happy
on,
Thursday.
Friday Eve.
I'm Nicole Legue.
And I'm Tim Pham. Jenny Power is glad it is Friday Eve. Good morning, Jenny. Jenny, today is bringing the sunshine.
I'm so excited.
We're all here for it. Good morning.
Yes, it definitely is. Good morning, Tim and Nicole. And it feels great on a Thursday because to us, Thursday's basically Friday and then Friday's basically the weekend. So we're basically there is how my logic likes to operate. But yes, as we take this live look for you outside over Riverfront Park in downtown Spokane, we see the return of some widespread sunshine for the day today. It is a little bit cool as I'm out here in the Outdoor Weather Center. Right now, we're sitting at 44 degrees and there's a light breeze to go along with it. So it feels even just a little bit chillier. We've got a few clouds here and there, but we are gradually going to see this widespread clearing trend as we prepare for an extended stretch here of some dry weather. Now, 49 degrees is our current temperature in Wenatchee. We're at 46 for Moses Lake, 50 for Coeur d'Alene. We're at 45 degrees currently north to Sandpoint, Idaho. And in the North Idaho Panhandle, that is one of the areas that is seeing some more cloud cover. But our current satellite and radar otherwise is calm and clear as we are going to be seeing a mostly dry day here ahead of us. Winds calm coming from the south here at about 10 miles per hour sustained in Spokane, but they'll become even lighter as we head through this afternoon. A look at your day planner. Here's that sunny afternoon that we have on deck. Clear overnight tonight with temperatures that are going to be more on par with our average.
All right, in your traffic impact this morning, we want to take you live right now to a major construction project. Here's a look at the Maple Street Bridge project. You're taking a live look at south of the bridge right now. The cones are out for this project, and this will impact your commute. Construction will begin today on a 2-week project, fully closing the Maple Street Bridge. First on Up with KREM this morning, we've learned the official closing time is now 6 p.m. tonight. The nearly $5 million project will restore the bridge deck. The city estimates this project will take about 2 weeks. The Maple Street Bridge, of course, is one of the busiest north-south connectors in the city because of its direct access to I-90. So let's help you get around this. I have this map here of the suggested detours with the Maple Street closure right now. You'll want to either use Monroe Street or you can also use Division Street. The city really recommending that people use Division because it just simply has more lanes, of course. Now, if you are north of the Maple Street Bridge, the best alternative right now is Boone Avenue. You can also go further north and use Mission or Indiana. And then if you are south of the Maple Street Bridge, the best alternative is 4th Avenue. That's because there is construction happening right now on 3rd Avenue. Of course, what happens in 2 weeks from now is Hoop Fest, the world's largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament. The city of Spokane says the goal is to have it done in time.
To get it back open for Hoop Fest weekend. That is the goal and what we're working hard to do. In terms of Pride, again, there's still quite a few north-south options to get across the river. The traffic impacts there, given that it's the weekend, probably won't have quite as much impact as, say, the volumes that we see Hoop Fest weekend.
While the bridge is closed, a good resource is the SRTMC app and website. You can see live traffic conditions and cameras so you know where the backups are. You can watch my full conversation with the City of Spokane Public Works about the Maple Street Bridge closing. It's streaming now on the KREM 2 app. Scan the QR code on your screen and watch for free.
3 Spokane City Council members are looking to temporarily pause developments on new computer data centers in Spokane. They're scheduled to vote on this moratorium on Monday. Just this week, Avista announced they're exploring a potential deal to provide electricity for a large data center. Councilmember Sarah Dixit said people here in Spokane have been calling the council concerned about how this could affect their lives.
We have received a ton of messages of people who are very, very concerned about a potential data center. So a lot of people voicing that we act against it. And because we don't know where it is, you know, as City Council, we are limited to Spokane, the City of Spokane, but it has been overwhelming. Recognizing this as a regional problem is important. So wanting to make sure that folks in the county, folks in other cities are also concerned. We've received messages even from people who don't live in the city who are concerned.
Now, one big question we've been getting is how you can voice your opinion. Well, the company behind the data center will need federal and local permits to get the project going, but since we don't know exactly where it will be yet, we're not sure which officials you would need to reach out to. What we do know is the Washington Utilities and Transportation Commission also needs to sign off, and they have a specific site accepting public comments. We have the link for that on our website, krem.com.
A flesh-eating fly that burrows into open wounds is back in the U.S. for the first time since the 60s. 6 confirmed cases of screwworm in the Southwest. So far, none in Idaho, but the State Department of Agriculture is taking precautions. Cooper Morgan talked to ranchers about their concerns.
Cattle. They're core to the identity of Idaho.
We've been ranching here my entire life. I'm a 5th generation here in Weiser.
But this year, ranchers like Cody Chandler are keeping a close eye on a new threat, the New World screwworm.
And the larvae will screw themselves down into the living tissue for about a week before they'll mature, and then they'll fall out into the soil and they'll hatch.
Idaho State veterinarian Dr. Scott Livesley says that's what makes it so dangerous. If caught early, infestations can be treated, but left unchecked, they can become deadly.
But if the wound isn't noticed, and the larvae, you know, there's so many of them that the wound becomes so infected, you could cause a widespread mass infection that ultimately could potentially kill the animal.
Right now, Texas and New Mexico are the only states with confirmed screwworm, but Dr. Livesley says any warm-blooded animal, cattle, horses, pets, even people, can be infested. And all it takes is one animal traveling north. To slow the spread, the USDA is releasing sterile male flies in Texas
that will hopefully mate with a fertile adult fly that's migrated up through Mexico, and that will result in a non-viable egg pouch.
Idaho is also tightening entry requirements for animals arriving from those states, requiring health certificates and movement permits. For now, Idaho officials are focused on education, early detection, and working with ranchers like Chandler, hoping screwworms never get a foothold here.
So we're not going to beat this situation unless everyone works together.
Because for ranchers like Chandler, the concern isn't just financial.
Every one of your cattle, every one of your animals has a face. And so you can put a dollar sign on every one, but you also have emotion.
The United States Postal Service is considering not delivering ballots to residents in states that don't share their registered voting lists. That includes Washington. USPS says this would comply with President Trump's executive order on mail-in voting. The Trump administration says the executive order protects voter integrity. Many people, though, say this all stems from the president's claims that voter fraud cost him the 2020 election. Those claims have been thoroughly investigated in the last few years, and most of the lawsuits were dismissed.
A new report shows inflation is at a 3-year high at 4.2% compared to last year. That's up 4% just from April. If you're feeling pinched financially, you are not wrong. Economists say a major reason consumers feel that way is because earnings are not keeping pace with the rising inflation.
Real hourly earnings are negative for the majority of American households. So people are losing purchasing power very readily. The gains that they're making in terms of wage increases, they're gone.
Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador is warning about a new scam going around. A scammer is calling and saying your Medicare card has expired, been lost, or requires account verification. They're trying to get your Medicare or Social Security number. So remember, Medicare will never call to ask for sensitive information or to demand payment. All official Medicare communication comes by mail.
A new federal wildfire outlook is raising concern for Washington's fire season. The report shows fire danger is expected to rise quickly this month here in eastern Washington and spread across the state in July. By August, above normal fire potential is expected across Washington.
Well, some good news, though. State lawmakers have been able to fully restore the wildfire funding that was cut last year. You might remember in 2025, the state reduced the wildfire budget from $120 million in half to $60 million, all to help with the budget deficit. But again, that money is now back in time for wildfire season.
And moving forward here, we are preparing to see a dry stretch in the inland northwest. We see the return of some widespread sunshine today and then also the return of warmer temperatures this afternoon, as we are going to see daytime highs in the low 70s for Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, and we're looking at some 80s out toward the central part of the state. Now, these temperatures we're seeing today for Spokane are on par with our average. Sunset later and later at 8:48 p.m. Moving forward and getting a look into this upcoming weekend, temperatures will continue to climb, as by Sunday, we're looking at some upper 70s to low 80s. Right now, Tuesday is looking to be our warmest day out of the upcoming week. But with the arrival of a dry cold front Tuesday and Wednesday, we are keeping an eye on the potential of some critical fire weather conditions, as winds are expected to pick up as well.
All right, well, check this out right here. Beautiful Gardens of Spokane. There is a awesome opportunity for you to check out this weekend. We've got the live details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, and speaking of that, in your wake-up call, we want to see your garden. How's it going right now? I saw a little tiny pepper starting to go on mine, as well as a bell pepper and my blueberries also. So I didn't get a picture of it though, but I
I forgot to take a picture of mine too.
Yeah.
My blueberries are not doing anything.
It's still early. It's still early. Once I'm feeling this heat this weekend, I think it's really going to do it. We're going to see a lot of sprouting happening.
I like it.
All right, send us your photos. We'd love to see them. 509-448-2000.
Welcome back to Up with KREM. We have an awesome opportunity this morning to be hanging out with two lovely individuals, Gabi, Tilly, and Karista. And I just want to say thank you both because, I mean, look where we're standing right now. We're standing in an absolutely beautiful garden. That's credit to Gabi, right?
Yes, thank you so much for the credit.
Well, you know, I mean, don't thank me. Thank you. I appreciate you. And then Karista, we got a cool opportunity this weekend, right, to come check out beautiful gardens like Gabi's. What do we need to know?
Yeah, so we're just in one of the beautiful gardens that we have on the tour this weekend. We've got 6 total gardens that we're eager and excited to welcome people into. One of the ones that I'm really excited about is a big composting garden. And so garden tourists can learn what do you do with their plants when they're done blooming, and how do you put that into your soil and prepare for next year. So that's one of the ones I'm really excited about as well.
Well, I'm excited because I told Gabi I think she needs to get her own TV show on Home and Garden. They need to start calling because as she gives us a tour around the garden, it's like, no, this needs to be on TV. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to just hang out with you. What's that like, you know, knowing some folks are going to get an opportunity to come out and check out your garden?
I think it's nice because you get a different idea of what everybody has as far as what's gardening to them. You know, not everybody does it the same, and you shouldn't. You should put your own personality into your garden. So it's nice to see different personalities come out and for different people, and you pick up some ideas and go like, oh, I never thought about doing it like that. And so it's just it's better than a magazine.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. No, it truly is. And I mean, you find something new. I'm looking around. It's like, all right, I dropped a little knowledge. I was like, hey, Gabi, Karista, this is a dahlia right here. And they were like, hey, that's impressive, right? You know, so I just want to say thank you both. This is an awesome opportunity. You got, how do we find you more information?
SpokaneandBloom.com is where you can find all of the information. The tour is this Sunday from 10 to 4. Right. You can purchase tickets online or at any of the 6 gardens.
All right, well, stay with us. We got more coming up in the next hour, but for now, we'll toss it back to you in the studio. Jenny Power, take it over.
And coming up in your forecast, I am tracking here an extended stretch of some dry weather as well as a warming trend. The full breakdown ahead.
Well, did you know today is National Yarn Bombing Day? Kind of sounds intense, doesn't it? But it's actually a form of street art where knit or crocheted yarn is used to cover public objects like trees, benches, or even parks.
It's pretty cool. So to celebrate the Downtown Spokane Partnership and Art Salvage Spokane did this.
How cool.
I know, it's pretty neat. They transformed Spokane Falls Boulevard into this art installation. They literally yarn bombed the street. It will be on display through the end of July. So if you want to go head downtown and see it, it'll be there for a while.
That's really cool to see, because otherwise I would think, oh, are the trees just cold this morning? What's going on with that? Let's get a look at your forecast, though, and what we're seeing out there, because yes, it is a little bit of a chilly start to the day today, but by this afternoon, you're going to want to peel back the layers as I'm tracking the return of a warming trend. Right now, live look over Riverfront Park. It is a beautiful start to the day today. Temperatures, though, again, are a little bit on the cooler end. We're at 44 degrees currently. Winds are light out of the south-southeast at 10 miles per hour sustained, but definitely noticeable if you're headed out the door soon. 45 degrees is our current temperature in Deer Park, as well as north to Sandpoint, Idaho. We're at 47 in Moscow, 40 for Ritzville, 48 for Omak, with 49 as the current temperature out in Wenatchee. Now, moving forward, we see the return of dry and sunny weather conditions. Temperatures are going to be warmer, and we even see this warming trend for us through this upcoming weekend and into early next week as we're preparing to see an extended stretch here of warm and sunny weather. Now, current satellite and radar, calm and clear. We've seen a few clouds here and there up in the North Idaho Panhandle, but we have this gradual clearing trend through the rest of this afternoon. And if you have any outdoor plans this afternoon or this evening, things are looking great. We trend clear overnight tonight. This one chance of some precipitation that we do see here is because of a little bit of a low pressure system that slides to the north of us tomorrow, bringing the chance of some showers mainly in the mountains of northeast Washington and North Idaho. So that is one thing to keep in mind. It briefly swings a little bit to the south, but it's anticipated to primarily be impacting those higher elevations. Now, moving forward into tomorrow, or a Saturday, I should say, and for any weekend plans that you're thinking of, things are looking good. Another round of some widespread sunshine. Daytime highs this afternoon were at 72 degrees for Spokane, 73 for Coeur d'Alene. This is now on par with our average for this time of year, and we're looking at the return of some low to mid 80s in central Washington. Overnight tonight, we drop into the mid to upper 40s. Some pockets are cooler than others, however, with overnight lows dropping to the upper 30s tonight in St. Mary's. But high pressure is continuing to build for us off the coast of California, and so that's why we are going to be seeing this stretch of some warm and dry weather as we take a look at this upcoming weekend. Many folks have been wondering, hey, am I going to be able to get out to the lake? Well, Sunday it's looking good with daytime highs and in the low 80s. Water temperatures are anticipated to be in the mid 60s, so still a little bit on the cooler end, but at least we're finally out of the 50s. Moving forward and taking a look at the next 7 days, we are going to watch for that warming trend through early next week.
Well, the Knicks are one game closer to being NBA champs. They beat the San Antonio Spurs in Game 4 last night in a thriller. My goodness, 107-105. It was a tough game. They were at a 29-point deficit and pulled off the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history in the fourth quarter. Yeah, not a. So the greatest comeback. So Game 5 is scheduled for Saturday in San Antonio.
Live look here at the White House this morning, where you can see that massive UFC claw ready for UFC Freedom 250 on Sunday. President Trump is hosting the MMA event on his 80th birthday and just a few weeks before the country's 250th birthday. UFC fighters from around the world will compete at 5 p.m. Sunday night.
It's 5:56. Here's a look at today's top stories.
We'll take a look at this video from earlier this morning. There was a fire out in Spokane Valley, and this is what it looked like at about 5 o'clock. Fire crews were able to get the fire under control fairly quickly. They say it started in a carport next to a garage, which was not connected to the house, so nobody was hurt.
Construction will begin today on a 2-week project fully closing the Maple Street Bridge. First on Up with KREM, we've learned the official closing time is now at 6 p.m. tonight. The nearly $5 million project will restore the bridge deck.
And coming up in your forecast here, we see the widespread return of some sunshine and warmer temperatures as we are looking at some low 70s in Spokane this afternoon. I'm even tracking a warm up through this upcoming weekend and through early next week. So be prepared for a stretch and an extended period here of mostly dry conditions.
The World Cup kicks off today. Everything you need to know about soccer's biggest stage coming up.